Alongside the launch of the first new ship of the year, the Core Dynamics Kestrel MK2, Frontier also dropped a major feature refresh into the game this week, which was kept entirely under wraps and only revealed via patch notes as the update was being deployed. If ever there was any doubt that Frontier were, after nearly 5 years of hesitation, finally doubling down on the somewhat underrated on-foot gameplay portion of Elite Dangerous, then those doubts must surely be reaching a middle now at the very least. Following the overhaul late last year of the on-foot NPC combat behaviour and weapon damage, pretty much all the screenshots, footage and talking FDev have done about the new operations feature has revolved around on-foot gameplay, and the update yesterday to deploy a new ship into the game brought an unexpected significant refresh with it that further leans into the on-foot focus that FDev is displaying. The patch notes that were published alongside the early access release of the Kestrel also contained extensive details on audio work that had been happening completely behind the scenes. So extensive in fact are the audio work notes that they actually inhabit the lion's share of the patch notes, and in terms of information density they completely dwarf any space taken up by the release of the new ship. I won't go into the entirety of the changes as they're quite lengthy. There's a link to the full notes below this video if you want to take a look, but here is a selection of the highlights, and we've also included some audible elements in this video, so stick around for that so that you can hear exactly what I'm talking about. Initially then, the audioscape of on-foot gameplay has been subjected to a complete rebalance, extensively reworking it to improve situational awareness during combat. In broad terms, this results in gunfire audio carrying further and providing better feedback to commander combatants about what is happening around them, and enemy combatant gunfire is easier to pinpoint through clearer directionality and a reduced reverb clutter. Generally, any explosions and grenade detonations stand out more, and there is better differentiation between indoor and outdoor noise and effects. Surrounding gunfire now attenuates to help improve your own situational awareness when you're hit with gunfire, making it easier to detect where that gunfire might be coming from, and overall successful outgoing hits, shield dropping and kill confirmations are much more legible in the noise of a surrounding gunfight. The changes don't stop at the more subtle highlights and audio mixing however. There are much more obvious and ear-opening direct changes to the audio produced by the weapons themselves, both outgoing and incoming. As a direct and extreme example, this is what the Elite Dangerous standard kinetic assault rifle, the kinematic AR-50, now sounds like. With the damage balance changes from last year and now this new audio, the AR-50 now feels and behaves like an absolute hand cannon, fully levelled up and with maybe some range and ammo count modifications on it. In the parlance of my dear grandmother, it absolutely chuffing slays those fools. You'll note there's a slight echo on the gunfire as well. This aftershock is present on all the weapons we've tested so far and almost gives the gunfire a somewhat cinematic spaghetti western feel. The general cacophony of weapon and combat noise has been balanced all over to provide just an overall better experience and all round better feedback on that all important situational awareness. The Manticore Executioner sniper rifle has been given what FDev describe as a quote more powerful heavier sound profile end quote, and bear in mind this will relate to incoming as well as outgoing rounds. with the patch notes remarking that the changes to the executioner will quote improve threat, distance readability and presence end quote. Likewise, the Manticore Intimidator has had its audio updated to provide, again in FDev's words, clearer, chunkier close range impact. Alongside the AR-50, the Karma P15 kinetic pistol has similarly been spruced up to make its presence felt, and I can definitely attest to its attention grabbing ability when one is being unloaded near your head. Grenade explosions and effects have similarly been freshened up. I found this to be particularly apparent with shield disruptor grenades, which now have a much more impactful, almost subsonic pulse feel to them, which is very effective.
Reinforcements have arrived. We've claimed Bravo.
It isn't just weapons where the audio refresh is apparent however. Footsteps, both yours and anyone else's, are now much clearer and sound less harsh and more naturalistic on the various surfaces they are present on. Suit voices cues are slightly softer, less resonant and easier to distinguish, something hugely important in the heat of combat, and there is also one particularly interesting detail that was picked up on by Commander Exorcist. The patch notes readme makes note of the following when talking about movement audio specifically. To quote the patch notes, quote, breathing, jumping and sliding have richer character and better mix presence, end quote. The audio from breathing and jumping you'll absolutely hear and were among the first things to leap out at us when we tried the game following the patch, but sliding is a fascinating one that is mentioned in the same breath. In the game currently your character cannot and doesn't slide at all, so could it be this is FDev dropping a hint of a feature soon to arrive with operations? Sliding into cover in the thick of battle would certainly add to the dynamism of combat. We'll just have to wait and see. Away from movements you'll also note clear weapon impacts, better reverb and echo in interior spaces, improvements to the mix affecting distant ship noises and loads more. All in all, this surprise audio pass has, alongside the changes we mentioned from last year, further helped to bring the on foot experience in the game more up to date and just add to an overall more visceral feel to the whole experience. I love what I've felt, experienced and heard from FDev's on foot changes, and I'm more keen now than I've ever been to get my mitts on operations and, as my grandmother used to say as she pushed a wrapped toffee into my hand with a cheeky wink, go out, take some tags and fold their laundry while they're still in it. Have you tried on foot gameplay with the new audio update in place? What do you think of what you've heard, and would you like to see a sliding mechanic introduced to on foot combat? Let us know in the comments below. If you've enjoyed this video, remember to subscribe to the channel so that you see all our videos and community posts, and if you'd like to support our work here at the Burr Pit, you can also join us on Patreon. Links to that and everything else we've talked about in this video you'll find linked below. That's it for now. Thanks very much for watching. We very much look forward to seeing you next time.